The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
It's time for Doing It with Style.
You've either got or you haven't got style.
If you got it, you stand out a mile.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm glad that you came back. And I also want to say to all of you people that have been writing into the station to have this show taken off the air, well, you're wasting your time because I own the station. So quit writing those letters and spend a little more time unifying your defecation. Now we got that out of the way. So today I have Lynette Johnston. Hi, Lynette.
Hello.
And Lynette Johnston is do you call it owner of Simple Healings, or are you the CEO? Are you the...
I'm the sumbitch in charge.
There you go, HMFIC.
That's
all right.
Okay.
Way. So what is Simple Healings?
Simple Healings is massage therapy and then some.
Okay.
So we customize treatments for the clients, just kind of like whatever they come in to need as far as body work. We do a little bit of energy work. You see the tuning forks. We'll get into that.
I was going to ask you about those. We'll get to those.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different modalities that I use as a massage therapist. And I just kind of like look at what the client needs and we go from there.
Okay, so when you say you look at what the client needs, is it like an interview type situation? In other words, if I were to come to you and say, I want a massage, or I want a massage because my neck hurts, my arm hurts, my knee hurts, or is that kind of what you're...
Absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of clients will come to me with different things.
Right.
Like some people might have neck pain. But there is an emotional attachment to that. So they'll talk to me a lot about the stress in their life, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll troubleshoot. And, like I say, it's really customized. So if a person has an emotional, like a lot of anxiety and stress, then I'm going to do a different modality than like a deep tissue massage for neck.
Right.
We might do both, but we would probably first start with clearing the emotional discomfort.
Okay,
first.
so it's more of a holistic type of massage rather than, because I know there's got to be 1,000 different types of massage out there: relaxation, deep tissue, Shinto, Shisu, all of this stuff. So, but the reason that I wanted to have you on the show, especially because I think that this is timely, since the first of the year, cannabis is now legal in Nevada, not only medically but also recreationally. And I just discovered that you do cannabis massages. So does that mean that we can come to your place and smoke a joint and then we'll do a massage, or how does that work?
Unfortunately, we don't get to do that.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay.
Yeah, so the cannabis massage is using the CBD oils and the THC infused oils into the treatment.
Okay.
So there's a lot of different ways to use it. You can use it as a tincture, which you would put under your tongue, sublingually, and ingest it, or we can use it topically. So topically, it's going to have a different effect.
Of course.
Yeah, so we have different receptors in our body, throughout our body, and the CB2 receptors are on in our skin, and they bond to the cannabinoid system, and it offers so many medicinal effects that I can't even, I have a list of a few, but goodness, it goes on.
So basically, if you're going to say, and I think hemp oil or cannabis oil or whatever the oil is that you're using, excuse me, you're not really getting high.
No,
by
you're
using
not.
It topically.
You're not getting high.
Right.
There's no psychoactive effects
That's what
to
I thought, yeah.
the cannabinoid system or the cannabidiol. So the THC is the psychoactive component, the compound that gets you high. And the cannabinoid system does not have that. The CBD system that we use topically does not have that. However, I notice that people get very giddy and they become very happy and elated when their pain has disappeared.
Well, yeah.
And so the fact that the system, the cannabinoids will actually take down a lot of the stress and anxiety and pain receptors. It's an actual pain interrupter.
Right.
And because of that, people become very happy. And there is a mood lift, I've noticed, with myself as well, because, administering this all day long, I'm absorbing as well as the client. Yeah. So I get a lot more. So I'm a little extra happy.
I was going to say, if you're doing this all day and you're getting high from it, man, by the end of the day, you might be...
Oh, I'd be zonked out. Yeah,
really.
So I don't get high.
And it's interesting because I have a friend who's also has a show here who last year had open heart surgery. And he was, of course, taking opioids for the pain, the incisions and all that stuff. And somebody told him, hey, here, use this stuff, the CBT, like a salve, a thing like that. And he said after 2 days, he said the pain that he was feeling from the incision and all that stuff was completely gone. He stopped taking the opioids, the pills, because it made him, messed up his head.
Yeah, and his liver and his kidneys.
Absolutely.
And the rest of
and yesterday we had a gentleman on Corey Taylor's show who is the head of There Is No Hero in Heroin, who is a heroin addiction, is trying to help people who are addicted on heroin. And one of the things that we talked about was a lot of people who have been on cannabinoids opioids for pain and stuff like that. Their prescription runs out, they can't afford it anymore. Heroin gives them the same feeling and the same effect, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper.
Wow.
So now we're getting all of these heroin addicts because of prescribed medication.
Wow.
So, people have always said that, cannabis is a gateway drug. And we're finding out that, yes, it is a gateway drug. It's a gateway off of opioids.
Wow.
And it's helping people recover from addiction from the opioids and heroin and that kind of thing. So, the medical benefits people are finally starting to admit to a lot of the medical benefits of cannabis and hemp and all of the related plants.
Absolutely. There's other countries that have been doing it for hundreds of years. Europe has been...
Well, we're slow learners.
I know. It takes us a little while. But, we're going to get it.
We're going to get there,
I believe in America.
Yeah, I do too, yeah.
So, but, the great thing is there are other countries they do have a lot more information than we have, and now with it becoming legal, there's so much research that shows that it actually repairs the brain, the cells in the body.
Yeah.
And people that have had extreme brain damage, they're going in and having a protective shield. This cannabis system just comes in, and it's just a miracle. It's an absolute miracle plant.
So how did you get into, or I know you've been doing the massage therapy for quite some time. How long?
So I've been doing massage therapy for 21 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
You're not even that old.
I was 1 year old whenever I started.
Yeah, I was going to say, holy moly. So what attracted you, or what made you decide, hey, I want to do cannabis massages?
Well, a little background on me. So when I the first day of massage therapy school, I found out I was pregnant with my oldest child.
Oh, wow.
And so it's easy for me to do a measure stick on how long I've been doing it.
Yeah.
So my whole entire pregnancy, I got a full
body
massage.
Wait, you have a 20-year-old?
He's almost 21.
Holy
He'll
moly.
be 21 soon, yeah.
Wow.
So during my schooling, I received a full body massage every single day, prenatal. And so when I graduated massage therapy school, I of course specialized in that because I was very familiar. I knew the benefits, I understood it, and worked with midwives. And then I went into chiropractic, went into the spas. I worked at the Desert Inn on the Strip.
Oh,
beautiful
wow.
high roller casino, so beautiful, 5-star. Oh, it was fantastic.
I remember.
So I learned a lot of different specialties as far as like body scrubs and mud baths and things. What I learned from all of my experience going through all of this is how different topicals affect the body. And so even just the energy of a person working on a prenatal patient, that is going to do something that nothing, opposed to nothing.
Right.
And when you add a system that has an energy connection with it, let's even just say mud or the herbal things that they would put in with it,
or all of
or
that,
stones, the heat, all the different sensations, they do have an effect on the body. And so now getting into fast forward all these years, having my own practice, I started using different oils and tinctures and different things because I saw what my patients really needed.
Right.
And I just want to help them. And so I would trial and error different products. When THC, when marijuana became legal here, I was able to work a little bit more.
So and let me ask that question. When did this, are you allowed to do this under the medical marijuana, or because it's now recreational?
Well, there's a lot of confusion with that right now, and I have to say I get confused too, because I remember in the beginning of my career 21 years ago, it was like the massage laws were constantly going back and forth. One day I could go across the street and massage a male, and the next day I couldn't. So it was hard to keep up with how the laws went.
And most people's perception of massages isn't always the greatest.
Exactly.
Based on what's happening in the movies, and
True story.
That's where all the hookers hang out, and that kind of thing. So I know it's got to be difficult at times to. Because I've been here for a year or so, and I see that you basically have a legitimate business here, and I'm sure people look at it and go, yeah.
I do,
cannabis massage, yeah, right. Anyway, never mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People do, and they don't understand. It's just like people that come to Vegas don't understand that they can't get sex with massage.
Yeah.
They don't know that they don't get high with cannabis massage. Yeah. So, but the laws.
Do you have you had that situation where they just come in because they figure, hey, I want to get the cannabis massage, and thinking that they're just getting high and that's the only reason they're here?
No, I actually haven't. I haven't had anybody thinking that they can just come in and get high. Now, when I introduce it to them, because of I see what their ailments are and I know what I can help them with, then I will maybe mention it to them.
Gotcha.
And I have clients that are opposed to it. I have a man who's almost 80 years old, and he's so much fun. He's like a father figure to me. He's been with me for a good 12 or 15 years.
I think I know who you're talking about.
You do, you know Bill.
Yeah.
And so he's Mr., he remembers that reefer madness stuff. He's like, and so he's like, oh, never touch that. No way, absolutely not. And so the first time, and he's got some issues that really, really can benefit from the medicinal effects of CBDs. So I went ahead and put them on him, and he was okay with it. I said, I explained to him it's non-psychoactive.
Right. You had his permission. You didn't.
Absolutely. Okay. I had his permission, and so he trusts me. He understands. We've been together for a while. So next thing I know, in the middle of the massage, he starts getting really happy. And he's telling me a story, and he can't get through his story without just laughing hysterically. And like I say, 12, 13 years I've been with this guy, it's never laughed like that on my table. And so I said, Bill, you might be getting high right now. You better not go rape some woman after this massage. That reefer madness is getting in your head. And we were laughing and had so much fun with it. But what happened? After the massage, he got off of the table and he was able to walk like I've never seen him walk before. He was able to, the mobility, he explained, I walked him all the way out to the car. And for anybody that, I didn't mention this, he when I first started seeing him, he was basically in a wheelchair. And then he went to a cane, and he's on a walker now, with a walker for safety. He can actually, he's much more mobile than he ever was before as he's getting older. And it's because of the treatments we've been doing weekly. He sees me weekly and never misses a massage. And now adding this type of medicine is, I can't even, it was like night and day's difference on his mobility, his pain levels. He was happy. All of this pain was released out of his system, and he was able to be this young version of himself, and he just felt fantastic. That's got to be great for you, too, to see that kind of a transition from somebody. I was so excited. Yep. What is is in all of our businesses, we have our best memories and our worst memories. What is your best memory of doing what you do? What is the thing that you... Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a really great question. I have so many great memories. I really do throughout my history. And I have to say, the experience that I've had recently is some of my favorite. I can really, I feel like I believe that I believe that plants carry energy. Well, we know this. It's not just a belief. It's scientific proof. So with that, and then the energy that I put into it, there's a special bond that happens between the energy of the medicine topically and the energy of my hands, and it's able to do something different. It's elevating my mood into a really calm, like a very zen type place. And when I get my prayer and my meditation and all of that, infusing that energy with my client, and they're receiving this absolute bliss. It's just a synergy it's just a beautiful dance.
Yes.
It's the most amazing thing that I've experienced
I
in my career.
had a philosophy for a number of years that, there's crystals, there's stones, there's tuning forks, there's, all kinds of different things that people use for metaphysical reasons or purposes. And I've always believed that those don't mean anything. It's not the tuning forks. It's not the crystals. It's the individual, their energy and what they're bringing to this plane, and it's just they've lopped onto this because this is my way. This is my excuse for doing this. This is without actually realizing. So all of this other stuff is just a tool or a crutch that we use as an excuse for ourselves. So you follow what I'm saying? Does
Absolutely.
that make any sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on
Yeah, and
board
it's
with
just
that.
that's what's comfortable for you, and that's what works for you. This is what works for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is my zen. This is my energy or whatever.
Even kind of going into that a little bit more, I've received massages. I used to teach in a massage school, and I've received massages that were absolutely, I would have paid somebody to take that massage exam for me, so that I didn't have to receive it from that person. Everybody's bringing a different, gift.
Yeah.
And some people have it and some people don't. And it's not the tuning fork, it's what's happening with it.
Exactly.
Just like it in pharmacology, it's not the drug, it's how it's used.
Yes.
So, we get to recognize that there is something that's happening in that energy exchange, whether it's the medicine energy or the human energy.
I've had a massage that I walked away from practically crippled.
Oh, yeah.
And sworn that I would never go back.
Right.
And I've said, oh man, that hurt. Don't. Oh yeah, well I'm getting this and I'm getting that.
Yeah, you need this.
Yeah,
Drink
so
some water.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Breathe.
If you're hurting me, you're not doing your job.
Right. Yeah.
Or you're not
We're
doing
not
what I
trying to
need.
do
That's
that.
not why I came here.
And some people like that pain.
They're idiots.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I don't know that they're idiots, but
No,
some people
I understand,
really
yeah.
enjoy that type of, because in their head, no pain, no gain.
Right.
I don't really work that way. That's why I have so many modalities.
I don't buy that. So
pain actually creates cortisol. We know the stress. We know the hormones, the adrenals. Everything starts to engage, and we don't want pain. Is not a good thing, unless your mind is really set on it being a good thing.
Yeah, if you're wired that way, I guess. So anyway, we're going to take a short break right now. I've got a couple of bills that we have to pay, so kind of talk about their stuff.
My power.
Yeah, and. We're going to come back, and we're going to. I keep looking at the tuning forks, and I really want to get into that if we can. So y'all come back now. The best is yet to come. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Abra McGrath. Please join me for the Health and Wellness Hour here at Luminosity Wellness Center, and all the other great shows at WWDBTV.com.
Put her hand in mine and said she loved me so very long ago.
Hey, how's it going? You can just throw your name up on the list and we'll get right to you. Yeah, thanks, dude. Thanks for coming in. Let me just clean this spot up and then we'll get right to you. You can hop on up if you're ready. Welcome to the shop. You need a shave too, though, right?
I don't know if I would accept a shave from somebody who's unshaven.
I look like a child when I have a clean-shaven face.
No, I wouldn't want a child cutting my hair. And I'd also need to know that the blades have been sanitized thoroughly.
I can guarantee you that the barbicide is 100% authentic, and these are sanitized tools I'm using.
Well, what is the...
Have you ever gotten a straight razor shave?
Is there any other kind? Stuff smells like Irish Spring.
Brings me back to childhood.
Did you grow up in a chemical plant? Hurry up.
Yeah, well, Now you look like $1 million.
Well, that's your job. I'll be sure and mention your facility during my show tonight.
Haha, we're back. You thought we were going to dump you, huh? Okay, so before we get into the tuning forks, one of the things that we didn't really get to cover that I wanted to ask you was, what are the benefits of doing a cannabis massage as opposed to any other?
Well, you know what? So I'm not a doctor. So I made a couple of lists.
You don't play one on TV either, do you?
I do not
okay,
yet.
All right.
I might play one on the radio show.
There you go. All right.
So I wrote down a couple of things that I've experienced with my clients. The thing about my brain is I'm wondering what is actually happening. I intuitively knew something is happening here. When I added the CBDs and this medicinal plant into my therapy, I knew something was happening, but I wanted to understand what in the world's happening. And so the research that I found is that we have an endocannabinoid system in our body. So
right.
we have these receptors that respond to these compounds. And when we take it topically, and we can ingest it as well and have the same effects, the CBD will not get you high. If you add the THC infused, you're gonna feel that.
Right.
But for the people that want the medicinal effects and not get the high, and not be tested positive for drug testing.
Thank you for because that was the other thing that I was going to ask is, if I come in for a massage and I'm driving down the street a day later, 2 days later, 3 days later, and I get pulled over by the cops and for whatever reason, and they say, well, we're going to test you for marijuana. So that's not going to show up in your system? It
won't.
Okay.
So the amount of THC in the cannabinoid system, in the cannabidiol, is like 0.03% of THC, and it's about the same as like a poppy seed.
Right.
Like if you eat a poppy seed muffin, or I don't know how much poppy seeds you'd have to eat for that. But so it's not going to be, it's not going to test positive for a drug test. Now, federally, to have it illegal, THC levels have to be at a 0.3%.
Okay.
So that's why
0.3% as opposed to 0.03%.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. And so the reason why that's important for us in this business is that the cannabinoid system is legal, but the THC part might not be. Right. So, but you can get the medicinal effects from it through, why does it stop the pain? Like immediately I can put it on a client and it interrupts that pain signal right away. And that's what the research shows, is that it goes in and it actually interrupts the signal going to the brain that creates the pain. And then with anxiety, it actually...
So, and let me ask you there, take that one step further. So it blocks the pain, but is it blocking sensation? In other words, let's say I put it on my arm because I got a pain here, and it stops the pain, but can I still feel my arm?
You'll still be able to feel your arm, but you won't be able to feel the pain associated
with it. Okay, and that was my... So basically,
so I can do a deeper tissue on
it's
somebody.
It's interrupting the pain receptors.
Correct.
Okay.
It is. And what's also happening is a person that has fibromyalgia, for example, they cannot take much pressure. They are chronically in so much pain all the time muscularly that they can't take a lot of manipulation. So what I would want to do is I would calm their system, and then I'd be able to work the muscles in a much more gentle manner, and they wouldn't feel the pain associated with it.
What about something like MS?
MS is the same. Any kind of autoimmune disorder taken internally, it's gonna start repairing the digestive system.
Okay.
And so all autoimmune disorders start from the gut.
Right.
So we want to get that gut healthy again. But now topically, that is something that still works because the pain associated with those muscles are going to diminish.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's good. No, it's all good. And then the anxiety levels, like a lot of people come into me. I mean, why do we go to the doctor? We go because we have pain.
Yes.
We go because we're stressed out. We have anxiety issues. We have what else do we go for? Inflammation, digestive, sleep problems. The cannabis helps with all of those things. And so with anxiety, I can put the oils on the nervous system and on the spinal cord, and the nervous system just calms down. And that's when we'll talk about a little bit about the tuning forks and how we kind of use that synergistically. And then the digestion and then sleep, if we're calming the nervous system down, the muscles are relaxing, everything in the system is getting to a homeostasis where it's getting balanced out. The person leaves the massage and they're able to sleep great that night. Everything's just functioning at a more regular,
right,
more balanced.
Normal.
Yeah, more normal.
The way we're meant to be.
The way we're meant to be.
Right.
And that endocannabinoid system that we have inside of us, it needs this food. It needs food, and there's a lot of different CBDs and different herbs. A lot of different herbs have it, not just the marijuana plant or the hemp plant. So looking at using that system in the body, we can put cayenne on an issue of like arthritis with the CBDs, and it enhances it. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it's a warming balm, and it really calms the muscles around. It heats everything up, getting lots of circulation and friction going, and that's going to feed it nutrition, the area nutrition, and that's how we're going to heal it. But we want to take the inflammation away, and that's what the CBDs do. So taking the inflammation away, mentally lifting the fog off of you, because when a person comes in and they're so stressed out and they can't think, they can't hardly sleep, they're just not at their best. This is going to help elevate everything, and with regular use, I mean, science just proves you're on top of your game after you get on the right system.
So if you mentioned earlier in the beginning of the show that you basically see what the patient needs, or what the person needs. I can call them patients, I don't know what you call them, clients or whatever, but you try to design your massage therapy based on their needs. What if, I guess the question that I'm trying to ask is that why wouldn't the cannabis massage be great for everybody? Or are there people that, this is not for you?
Well,
that you would
research
not
shows,
recommend. I'm saying, do you have people coming into you that you would not recommend the cannabis massage
That's
for?
a really good question. The only time I would not use it is if the person wasn't comfortable with it.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's no scientific.
But physically and yeah.
There's no contraindications with any medical medicines that the person's taking. So any kind of pharmacy medications, anything that the person has, there's no contraindications. There's only benefits.
So basically, when you get a massage, most masseuses, is that what they're called now?
Massage therapists.
Massage therapists, okay. Use some kind of an oil. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're using the cannabis oil. So if you're doing, and I guess this might lead into the tuning forks, do you do the combination? In other words, you got a cannabis massage, and then I'm going to stick this tuning fork in your ear or something like that.
Exactly.
How does that work?
So when a person comes to me, I kind of first of all get an idea of what they're open to.
Right.
If a person comes to me and they're brand new and I'm not sure what their belief systems are, I'm going to stick with a really general type of treatment.
Okay.
If they explain to me, I've used this, I've used that, I've been through massage therapy for a long time, I've been getting it for years, this is what my problems are, then I know they're a little more open and they're a little more educated on what the actual massage does for the body, and so I can offer more of my modalities. And so if a person just really trusts me, if they just go, I don't know, just work your magic, somebody told me about you, and that happens most often.
Yeah.
Somebody so-and-so said this and this, so I'll say, okay, well, just trust me then. Your job is to just breathe and relax and just enjoy it. If you have questions, you can talk to me through it, but I'm going to use a few modalities. Intuitively, I will know what your body needs.
Okay.
So when I'm in there and I'm digging and I'm just doing my job, my fingers talk to me. My fingers will communicate with me, and I will know.
I'm glad you said communicate, because if they talk to you, you might have a no.
Hello, Lynette. This is the angel. This is the devil.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They do speak to me. I hear words. No, just kidding. So they'll tell me, my fingers will tell me, oh, you know what? It's a good idea to calm down the vibration. Now, what the tuning fork, are we ready to talk about tuning forks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, so the tuning forks add, like we were saying, that plants, herbs, we all have energy.
Right.
So there's a frequency that's happening with these topicals. And so I'll put, even if I just put a regular, let's just say I put arnica and coconut oil on a person. That is very non-invasive. They're not going to notice any difference. It's just going to be a glide sensation for my hands.
Right.
But I feel like a really strong knot, but that person doesn't like a deep tissue massage. Let's say they just say, I know I got that there, but don't make me hurt tomorrow.
Right.
You know? Then what I'll do is I'll grab the tuning fork, and these are all different frequencies. So they're different. They sound different and they behave differently. So this is my favorite one. It's got a little pointy end to it. I don't know, can people see, or are they just listening?
Yeah, no, they can see.
They can see, okay. So it's got a little pointy end.
Well, if they have eyes, they can see. I mean, blind people can't see. They'll just be listening. But.
So those that are blind, this fork that I have is very large, and it has a little pointy end to it.
Now, is that glass or plastic or crystal?
This is crystal quartz.
Okay. Crystal quartz, okay, cool.
And so we have a little rubber knobby that we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is adding a frequency to the tissue.
See, now I can almost hear that, but not really. But
Not fully.
I have tinnitus really, really bad.
Really?
Yeah, seriously bad. Now I can hear that.
So you can hear that. So
but over there, I can't hear it, but I can feel it.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
So perfect. And
yeah.
so what I
and that's what I
will
said.
do,
That's I knew it was making a sound, even though I couldn't hear it.
Even though you couldn't hear it. So what this is going to do is auditorily. So I will ring this, and I will.
Now I heard that when you hit it.
Did you?
Yeah.
And so if a person comes to me really stressed out and they've got a crazy knot in their neck, I will introduce this to their ears. And I'll ask them to breathe, and they'll calm. The system will start to calm. And what's actually happening is they're going. If a person's really stressed out, they're in a high beta wavelength,
right?
In a brain wavelength, that's a really high stress. The adrenals engage. There's all kinds of chemical things that are happening when we're stressed out. So we want to pull it down to an alpha state, which is like a meditation, a very calm. And when you're in massage, you want to shut it down. Go into, sometimes even fall asleep.
Right.
You want to be back between the theta and the alpha brainwave levels. This is going to introduce that frequency to your brain so that you can calm it down. And so if a person's super stressed out, they just had a traffic, blah, 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 I'll introduce this to the ear, and then I'll scan the body, and I'll just strike it and scan through the body. And now the body's going to feel that like you said.
I can actually feel that.
This.
Yeah, but I'm weird, so.
Of course, that's how we love each other.
That's right.
So I can also apply this to the knot. So if they have something going on, and I can't put a lot of pressure into it because it's too painful for them,
right.
I'll introduce a different frequency. So everything so let's say we have a pounding headache, it's going to pound a different frequency than a relaxed moment.
Okay.
You know, so the pain also happens here, so we'll engage that. And so this is my favorite tuning fork that I like to use for that. And then also if a person is under a lot of emotional stress, let's say somebody just died,
right,
that they cared about, what we're going to do is we're going to do which I didn't bring my little igniter, but that's okay. There's a little hockey puck. It's a little rubber
right.
igniter, and this is what it's going to sound like.
Cool.
Can you hear that?
Nope.
With your tinnitus? Probably not.
Wow.
Okay.
Very high frequency.
Depending on how I strike it, it can get loud. But what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to bring in the energies that are kind of when we have a traumatic event in our life, we can store energy in our debris. It reminds me of like what it's like in outer space. There's just debris.
Right.
And in our biofield is the energy bubble around us. We can store it, and it kind of floats around. And what happens is people become really heavy with this energy, and they get stressed out. They get tired. They have 2 o'clock comes around. Their adrenals are fatigued. They're just a mess. So what this can do is you strike it and you pull all of this debris back into the center of where their energy system is recycling, and it actually elevates the person. And this is without the cannabinoids.
Right.
So adding the cannabinoids to it, the cannabinoids, we marry the frequencies with the plant medicine, with these tuning forks, and enhance the whole experience.
Okay, now I want to ask this question. In a lot of let's take drug studies, drug tests. You have a control group, and you have, you're getting the medicine, I'm getting placebo. Now, there are people, I'm not sure how to ask this. Let's take a faith healer, okay? The only way I'm going to be healed by a faith healer is if I believe that that faith healer can heal me.
Placebo, you bet. Mm-hmm.
Right. So have you found in your 20-some years of doing this that whether or not the people believe what you're doing, is it still effective?
You know, that is a really awesome question, and I'll tell you my experience. I have an elderly gentleman that has been through he's been with me for about 10 years, and he's been through so many different surgeries. He came to me originally with pain in his legs, pain in his arms, tingling in his fingers. Immediately, I knew exactly what to do physiologically for him. He did not, he says, just make me feel good. I know what you're going to do isn't going to matter anyway.
Right.
So he already came in with a belief system that nothing I was going to do was going to work.
Right.
So he went into the surgeries, and he's had 6 or 7 of them since I've known him. None of them have worked for him. So there's where the placebo either does or doesn't work, right? But guess what? He still comes back to me every other week. He still said, and one day he told me, well, you know, you're not that good. He's ornery. He's so ornery. He's like, you're not that good. And I'm like, well, you're not that good either. And so we had this wonderful relationship where he started to get to where I said, you know, can you just be really honest with me? And after this massage that I give you, because I was trying some different things, I was doing the tuning force with him, and he falls asleep during the massage, so he doesn't really know what I do. But I just do me a favor, when you leave, think about how you feel and how long it lasts. And he did for the first time. And he finally came back to me. He goes, Lynette, I don't know if it's psychosomatic because you told me you did some new stuff. I didn't tell him what I did. Right. But he said, and I did not use the cannabinoids on him. I didn't have his permission. So he said that it lasted for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And he goes, that's how I've known how I need to come back to you.
Right.
Because your massage lasts longer. And so
That's
you know,
cool.
the placebo effect is absolutely 100% accurate.
Yeah.
It is. It's proven.
Right.
So I don't know how people decide to believe it. Maybe they start feeling it.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, people believe that, all right, I'll give you a personal example. Back in the mid-'80s, I had lung surgery. I had valley fever, which is a fungus that grows on your lung, and they had to take part of my lung out. And about 6 months before that, before I was diagnosed and before I had the surgery, I had gone through Tony Robbins' Firewalk. So where you walk barefoot across the hot coals and all that stuff. So, and I had a picture that, you know, they
You're
take
an animal, John.
they take a picture of you, and when I went into the hospital, I had that picture on the nightstand by the bed. And when the surgeon came in the day before my surgery to tell me what was going on, and he asked for a picture. And I told him, you know, I said, I did the Firewalk and blah, blah, blah. And I said, you just do what you're going to have to do, and I'll take care of the rest of it. And, you know, he's going, yeah, okay. But, and he was, you know what an osteopath is? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it was an osteopathic hospital, and that was just a fluke. It wasn't anything I planned. So the day after the surgery, the surgeon came back in, and he goes, I just want to tell you, you're the first person that I've done this surgery on that did not have to go on a respirator immediately after the surgery. We took you right to the recovery room, and during the surgery, your bleeding that we normally get was so reduced that I just had to comment on it, you know, look at this guy, doesn't bleed at all. So, you know, and then we had a great conversation about, you know, that we can do some of this stuff ourselves. Now, there was no way in hell that I could have healed my lung. I mean, I didn't believe that. There was no way in hell I could have done that. However, I felt that what I had experienced in my life up to that point helped me help the doctor. And there are people with cancer that are looking at all of these alternative surgeries or alternative medicines, or, you know, I'm going to go to this psychic or whatever. That scares me a little bit, because you can do a certain amount, but you still need, you know, and as much as I hate to admit this, there are some things that we need drugs for. We need surgeries for, but we can help that along and make it easier on ourselves and come out of it better. So I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's what I believe.
I believe in that too. I do. Yeah. I believe in that. And what I've experienced, I like to do a lot of self-help stuff.
Right.
And one of the things that I've recognized, like you said, psychics can scare you.
Right.
That can scare me too, as
but
much
they
as
don't
doctors
scare
can scare me.
It's just that I don't want I'm scared that somebody is going to believe that they can cure themselves of cancer.
That's what I feel like too. And, if a psychic comes in and says, you only have 3 months to live, and a doctor says the same thing, to me, they're the same thing in the belief system of the mind, in the placebo effect.
Right.
I don't want to hear that from a doctor, and I don't want to hear that from anybody else.
Right.
So because that belief system will actually engage that happening in your body, there's a fantastic program. Are you familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza?
No, I don't believe so.
Beautiful doctor. Absolutely phenomenal research he's done. And so what he is, I believe, he started as a chiropractor, and then he went into like neuroscience, and he has all these credentials. And what he does is he marries science with spirituality. And so he goes into the scientific proof and these clinical researches that he's done that people can actually heal themselves.
Right.
So when you said you didn't believe that you could heal your lung, that's true for you if
Right.
you didn't believe that.
Yeah.
He chose to believe it. He had a horrible accident. He chose to believe he could fix himself without the doctor's help. So he went into this thing, and then fast forward, he's got a couple of books, and he teaches all over the world now these meditations. So he explains the science behind it, and then he's devised this meditation that you can do to hardwire the new belief system.
Right. And I do believe that that's true.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It wasn't for me, but I do know, we all know people that have miraculously recovered from something.
It's a
that
miracle.
There's no way to explain
Yep.
it.
Doctors say that is a miracle cure.
Yeah.
And it's because we do have this magic in us.
Of course
There's
we do.
a miracle current running through
I
us.
just haven't got there yet.
You're there already. I know you are there. But that's where I come in, is I marry their belief system and the current. I connect with the healing current inside of my client. I connect the healing in me and the healing in them, and there's miraculous things that happen. Sometimes there's information that comes through, and I just am inspired to tell them, check this out.
Right.
Go into this YouTube video. Go try this superfood. Go, get on the blue
Have you
green
read
algae.
What the Bleep Do We Know?
Oh, yeah. Dr. Joe Dispenza started from that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Okay.
He was on that
that's
show.
cool.
He was on that movie.
Yeah. I've had to watch that probably 8 or 10 times because it gets to a certain point, and then I get lost. It's just, it's
too.
like being stoned again. It's like, holy crap, am I ever going to be able to find my way back out of this rabbit hole?
Right,
But yeah,
right.
it's phenomenal. And
the second one's called The Rabbit Hole, Down the Rabbit Hole.
Right.
Yeah.
And I started 150 years ago reading things like Edgar Cayce and Many Mansions and T. Lobsang Grandpa and all of these books. I've had some experiences in the Orient or Asia or whatever you call it now, in Hong Kong and Japan, and I'm a Vietnam vet, so got a lot of that culture kind of osmosis. So what's going on out there is phenomenal, and one of my favorite sayings is there's magic everywhere if you're paying attention, and there's so much that we can tap into. That the tuning forks fascinate me because I believe that there is a sound or vibration or whatever within all of us that goes back to Star Wars, the Force.
Right.
That's what that is, and so I think that's why I love music so much. Is it's a reminder of that sound that we have within us that we carry around. So anyway, I get carried away.
I love it.
So this is one of the, what do you call it, a modality?
It's a modality that I invite to the ones that are open, or if they're just fully open, I'll just intuitively use it when I need to.
And what else do you have? What else?
Well, I actually have this for people that like a lot of deep tissue massage,
Okay.
and 21 years in practice.
This looks like a bathroom faucet.
It does, doesn't it?
See that? Yeah.
Maybe that's where they got it from. So we've got 3 of these. These are actually Ashley Black's Fascia Blaster.
Okay.
And so this I just purchased this over online. And what this does is phenomenal. I can't even tell you. There's 3 little ones to it. And
so it's like a whole bunch of tiny little fingers.
it is. And what this does is, so the fascia sits between our skin and our muscle. So that fascia is that webbing that solidifies, and it almost, if you will, strangles the muscle from its proper nutrition. So what we want to do is release that. So people that have, a lot of athletes, people that have been through injuries, car accidents, surgeries, a lot of scar tissue, things like this, we're going to go in and break it up. So we would use this around the neck, in the smaller areas, and it feels really good. It can be painful depending on what's going on in the tissue.
Right.
But so we've got, different sizes. This would be for the neck. The girl that invented this, she actually did it for a hip injury or something like this, and what she noticed is that the side effects were that her cellulite was going away.
Oh,
so now
cool.
I have clients coming to me saying, Lynette, work my cellulite. So you can use a bigger one for like the legs.
Right.
And really work those tissues. And what it does is it's going to break up the fascia, which what that's going to do for us is it's going to increase circulation, increase friction and heat, and it's going to open up the capillaries, and then we can infuse the topicals and use the tuning forks to kind of drive that medicine in. This is my own technique that I've made up.
Oh, cool.
I've seen my clients get great results from it. So I think I'm the only one in the world that does this, as far as I know, because I just did it.
Have you, speaking of that you just made this up, have you had that experience in the past that you thought, I'm going to try this, and
oh gosh, yeah,
and it doesn't work, or it does work, or
I swear, I think life is a science project, and
yes.
I am just a junkie on research. I kind of geek out on stuff like that, so I get all research junkie all over it, and that's how I came with the CBDs in my massage.
Gotcha.
Is my client, who we're going to meet, she's a good friend of mine, and she brought this oil to me, and she's like, will you use it? And I hadn't done any research yet, so we kind of had to go from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's going to be coming up after we take a little break, right?
She will.
Cool.
So the tuning forks, the fascia blaster.
How much are you paying her?
Oh, well, maybe I'll give her a free massage. She's wonderful. Yeah, and then I also have a big device, and this is kind of just something extra that I do for people that
Now,
really
I've seen
need it.
those, yeah.
Yeah, this is, I call this my thumper. It's also called, I call it my meat tenderizer for people that need a lot more pressure and a lot more therapy than
Right.
what my actual hands and elbows can do. So, and this is much, it
And
feels
what's that weigh,
better.
about 45 pounds?
Yeah. So this is a little bit of a more gentle feel than getting an elbow stuck in your shoulder.
Yeah.
So that's my modalities.
Cool. All right, well, we're going to take another short break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to get to talk to Sarah, who is one of Lynette's clients, and see what she has to say about this whole mess. So we'll be right back after this. Thank you.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tips on cooling systems. This vehicle's got about 182,000 miles on it, so if you're checking the coolant, check the hoses too. Just feel them and see if they're soft or any signs of fatigue for the mileage on it. They don't feel bad. They look like they're still the original hose, but you want to make sure you don't go too long with these hoses because they will eventually deteriorate, cause a problem. In this case, this car's got a visible leak. The customer brought it to us. We'll pop the hood and check the cooling system. First, we just relieve any pressure that might be on the cap. Remove the cap. Take a look inside. We see it's kind of low. Now we'll start our inspection. What we found on this one is the top tank is leaking. It's got a crack in it. Pretty common for these plastic radiators to do that. I want to get to a shop right away because severe engine damage can result from overheating condition like this. In this case, it was pretty easy to see the crack was right on the top tank, but a lot of times we'll have to pressurize the system to locate the exact leak. Could be a hose in the back, could be underneath. Some of these are hard to find, but in this case, a very common leak, the top tank. When we're testing a cooling system, it's okay to use just water, but you want to make sure when you're filling it up properly, it's a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. It needs the water to make the chemical work, so don't just put straight antifreeze. 50-50 mix is the best way to go. Keep it clean, keep it rust-free. So as you can see, we got a pretty active leak. You got to get this fixed, so there's going to be some engine problems. If you're going to top off your own coolant, it's really not that hard. If you got a radiator cap, just make sure it's not hot. Take the cap off and take a look. In this case, we're pretty full here, but what we have is the overflow jugs empty. So we'll just add that. Once again, check your manufacturer's specs to make sure what type of coolant you have. In this case, we're using the good old green. There's gold, there's red, there's yellow, all types out there. Just want to make sure you're staying with your manufactured recommended coolant. And that's really all there is to it. The cooling system is a major component. You'll want to service that regularly. If you have a problem, it could be too late and cost you thousands of dollars. If ever you have a problem, come into Sun Valley Automotive. It's no charge to look at your cooling system. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
Hi, I'm Mike McAuliffe.
And I'm Perry Haichu.
We're the hosts of the Nevada Cannabis News Hour.
Join us on WWDBTV.com.
And we're back again. And hey, everybody, I almost forgot. I want to remind you this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. over at Barnes & Noble on Rainbow, just off of Lake Mead. I'll be there for the book signings. So.
You have a book?
No, I just go over there, and when people buy books, I sign them for them. So.
That's funny. Great.
Okay, so we have Sarah here. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
And why are you here, Sarah?
Well, this crazy lady here brought me in.
Okay. And why did this crazy lady bring you in?
Well, let's see here.
Are you one of her victims?
Well, clearly.
Clients?
Clearly, I am.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, I guess I've been seeing her, about 2 years now? Mm-hmm. So, actually, my other girlfriend, Tony, she had bought a Groupon, massage Groupon, and obviously it was Lynette, and so she's like, oh my God.
No kidding.
Yeah. So she's so that was 4 years ago?
Yeah.
So for 2 years, my friend Tony, she's like, oh my God, Sarah, you got to get a massage from Lynette. She's amazing. You have to. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because, I mean, I have had hundreds of massages. I mean, I've been to the nicest spas, you name it. And it's just kind of like, I leave disappointed, you know? I mean, I still get them.
I've had that same experience, but I've only had dozens.
Yeah,
so.
But it's like you pay for it, and you're like, why am I paying for this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so finally I was like, okay, I'll get a package. And
well, did it bother you because everybody's always talking about how great it is to get a massage and how great they feel and stuff like that, and you walk out and you're going, is there something wrong with me?
Well,
you know?
I've had, well, besides her, I've probably had 2 other experiences with massages that were really good.
Okay.
And I'm talking really good, but not amazing.
Right.
So, yeah, so after my first massage, I was like, shit, that was pretty awesome. And then I went back again, I was like, oh my God, because she has this, I don't know, her ability to connect with people, and she cares. And it's that caring that is really important.
Here's one of the things that I've noticed, and I've been a part of Luminosity Wellness Center here for a year and a half now, so I'm here every day, and unlike most people, I see a lot of what's going on. You are without a doubt the busiest person, the busiest practitioner here. I see more people coming in and out of your business than anybody else. So you must be doing something right. And before we get too far into this, I hope you'll forgive me for this, and if you won't, we'll clip it out. And I noticed a tattoo on your arm, and I would like to, I'd like to have you read that.
Oh, okay, sure. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Now that is awesome. When did you get that?
Gosh, did I get it like last year? I think last summer.
Okay.
Last summer.
Why did you get it?
Well,
not the tattoo, but okay. Why did you get that particular phrase?
This particular one, well, it's from the movie, Willy Wonka.
Right.
But it's originally a poem, but it's my husband's favorite movie. And that particular line, it's always sunk with me because, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
It's up to us to do, whatever path we want, it's up to me.
Well, I thought it was cool because we were just talking about the tuning forks and the music and everything, and so it caught my eye. I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, so let's get back. So you're going to tell us about your experiences with Lynette and
Yeah, so anyways, okay, so
see how easy it is to get sidetracked in this?
It is.
Especially us.
It's what we used to call duck walking.
Right.
We could, if we're talking about a particular subject, and when I was in college or in school, and to see how far off track we could get the professors.
Gotcha.
So anyway.
Well, I just learned what duck walking was. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a little before my time, I guess.
Well, yeah, when you get to be my age, a couple more lifetimes and you'll be fine. So tell us about your experiences getting massages from Lynette.
God, well, hands down, best massage therapist there is.
Why do you say that? What is it about Lynette that makes her massages or her better than Joe Shit the Ragman down the street?
Well, I'm gonna go back to the fact that she cares.
Okay.
She wants, when you're in that room, it's like this connection happens that it's really hard to put into words.
I understand.
And it's just it's amazing, and then you add in the oils, and it's just like, holy mother of Jesus. It's just another level of massage. You just kind of go to a different place in your mind where you can just relax. You don't think about the outside world. It's just it disappears.
So as a client or consumer, what do you call the people that come in and get massages from you?
I call them clients.
Clients, okay.
Yep.
So as a client, when you walk into that room, you are basically putting your trust in another individual.
Right.
And trusting that they're not going to hurt you or kill you or
right.
that what you're going to get, that you're going to get what you pay for.
Right.
And so you find that trust is there.
Yeah, it's easy to let go.
Okay.
And just chill out. And I mean, I'm pretty easy at doing it now, but like my husband, he also sees her, and he's a tough one.
Yeah.
And it took him a little bit longer to actually relax, but now it's
He's a musician?
No. We own a bar and
really?
Real estate agent as well.
Cool.
So we flip houses.
Cool.
But he's his mind's always going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and,
I listen, believe me, I know that.
And he's got a lot of aches and pains, that I don't have.
Right.
He's had back surgeries.
Well, if he's been in construction or real estate or whatever, yeah, we all have those. So,
so
you're opening a bar?
We bought a bar January 1st.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Where at?
It's Charleston and Rainbow. It's called the Tavern. It
okay.
was the Crow Bar, and
right.
we remodeled it and everything.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Is it open now? Have you opened?
It's open. It's been open, but yeah, we just finished our remodel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and they have musicians. They have like every
Friday night.
Every Friday there's live music. It's beautiful in there. You can't believe Sarah decorated the whole entire place. She ripped everything out, redid the bathrooms, redid the tiles on the ceiling are like golden tiles, and there's drapes. It's like
it's a 1920s, 30s like Prohibition style.
Awesome.
Bar.
It's really cool.
Have you been to the bar at the Artisan?
I have not, no.
Okay.
I have been down there. Yeah.
Where they have all the picture frames and stuff like that hanging all over the place.
Yeah, it's similar. It's a little bit like that.
Yeah, and that's what popped in my head. So I got to come check it out.
Come
so
check it out.
If I can ever get the hell out of this place,
right?
so
good luck.
Yeah, really. You know the feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
So your first time to get a massage from Lynette. What did you think when you went in?
Well, I knew there was something special about her. I mean, you just kind of know immediately just from her energy. You can just feel it, and
I'm getting all dewy-eyed.
Don't let that go to your head.
Well,
now.
I have to say, so Sarah's been with me for a couple of years, and she came to me, and we have this beautiful relationship. I feel like all of my clients turn in. I call them my babies. I don't call my clients. I call them my babies once they get with me for a while, because I do feel like there's this maternal, there's something that happens. And so Sarah and I have become very good friends. She's one of my very best friends.
Well, like I say, they have put their trust in you.
They do.
Right.
They do.
And so,
Sarah, and I trust them as well.
Right.
So Sarah comes to me with this beautiful oil, and it smells delicious. And it's like a lavender.
And this is the
vanilla
first
bliss.
time that you've ever met her? Okay.
No. This is actually just a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
A month ago or so. And so this is what really introduced me to using the CBDs.
Right.
And so I'd used like the menthols and sports therapy ones before, but I hadn't ever used a THC CBD infused oil. And Sarah comes to me and she shows me this oil that I'd never seen before, and she goes, "Will you massage me with this?" And I look at it, and I don't see any ingredients in it, but I do see that it says, cannabis infused oils, and I wasn't quite sure what exactly was going to happen. And the exchange for myself, because I've got to be here till 8 o'clock, and it was like 11.
Right.
Oh, and I also don't know, she's like barely 100 pounds, right? So am I going to hurt her? Am I, how much do I use on her? So
she's going to be able to drive?
Exactly. Will she be able to drive?
Right.
Is she going to have to worry about drug testing? They own a bar. They've had to go through a lot of things, right? So next thing I know, we decide that we're going to do it in her home on an evening where we can just not have to worry about anything else. And
that brings up another question. Do you do house calls?
I don't anymore, just because I have abundance.
Yeah, no. I understand.
I have a limited time, but with the massage therapist that I'm hiring, I'm not ruling that out.
Right.
Because of the way the laws are
So
going.
you're expanding?
I am expanding,
wow,
yes. So
cool.
I just did interviews yesterday, and we're looking to build a team. By this time next year, we should have at least 5 therapists with us.
There's after the show, there's a woman that you need to meet. She also does a show here, but and we'll talk about that later. But
beautiful.
She's not a massage therapist, but there's some connection there. So
beautiful.
So sorry.
Okay, and so anyway, so we decide to do this massage off the record and just kind of like, let's just try this out. And we both, like, I'll speak for myself, but I have to say that it was the connection, it was like this cloud of bliss came over me, and I was expecting to probably get high. Like, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get some of this, right?
Yeah, because I didn't know either. I'm like, well, we'll see what happens. You know?
So,
we'll
so this was you had no experience with the cannabis oil or anything before
not
that?
Yet.
Okay.
And so I measured like what exactly, how many squirts I used, because it was going to be a measure stick of next time we'll use less or more or whatever.
This was research.
Yes, absolutely. And so
I was a guinea pig.
You were, you little guinea piggy. And so we both, like, after the massage, we're both looking at each other, and I'm like, I don't feel high, but I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
And Sarah, and what did you experience?
I mean, I just felt like I was just 100% relaxed, just like I was floating almost. And it's euphoric.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep. Without the high, that cerebral high, because I don't want my clients to worry about driving. I don't want to worry about my clients driving.
Right.
And sometimes after a massage, I'm like concerned. I'm like, are you okay? And this was without any, special oils or aromatherapies or lavenders or anything. So sometimes people get up and they're a little wonky, and especially Dan, your husband, sometimes he's like, wow. And he has to breathe, and I'll give him water and just like, give yourself a few minutes, because now you got to go out into the real world again. So these infused oils are giving us even though I felt totally fine to drive, there was some kind of calm that was over me. And like I mentioned before in the show, I have another special connection with that client with these oils. I know it's the frequencies. I don't know the research yet, but it's the same as these, the tuning forks we were talking about. There's something that's happening.
Right.
Yeah, it magnifies it for some reason.
Yeah, I can understand that. So you have all of these different modalities that you use. Do you have a menu? In other words, when somebody comes in, okay, I'll take one of these and one of these and one of these, and how much is that, and how much is this, and how much is that, or do you have one set price, or how does your pricing work?
Yeah, right now it's a set price, because I'm looking at the cost of the oils, which that should be going down, because once I figure out, which companies are the best and how to factor that into the cost of the treatment. So right now, I am at $120 for 90 minutes, and $99 for 60 minutes, and we'll kind of go from there. I'm gonna have a menu eventually. This is just so new that we're still looking at the legalities of everything and what we're able to do, and just create a menu like that.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because at this point in time, as far as everybody knows, what you're doing is not illegal.
It's not illegal.
Okay, so you just she's not doing anything illegal here, so put your mind at rest.
It's not illegal.
Yeah.
And you won't get high. I'm sorry.
So if you're looking to get high and do something illegal, you need to go someplace else.
Yeah, we're going to piss off a lot of hippies.
Yeah.
You're not mad, are you?
No, not anymore. I got over it. Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone who was considering, I don't know anything about massages. Where should I go? What should I ask for? What should I do?
Well, you should call this girl, and that's a good start.
Okay.
I mean, because she'll know exactly what you need. She can talk you through, whatever concerns you have or questions. Because everybody's going to be different, and not everybody is open to the same stuff.
Right. And so how do you work that? I mean, do you have a website, you have a phone number, you have people call you up and say, hey, I'd like to make an appointment, and I'm talking about new customers or new clients. How does that work? If I wanted to get a massage and I didn't know anything about it, what would you suggest I do?
Well, I would suggest that you just schedule whenever the first available is. I am blessed with abundance, so right now that's why I'm hiring staff.
Right.
Because I am booked. I'm booked about a month in advance.
Wow.
So if a newbie comes to me, they're looking at about a 4-week wait.
Okay.
And after that, I'll talk to them on the phone a little bit, find out what's going on. But really, I like to be in person.
Right.
And when they first come in, I ask them to come in about 15 minutes early. We'll talk, and I'll kind of there's just this exchange that happens when you meet a person, right? And I'll find out a lot in that meeting, that 10 or 15 minutes, I'll find out a lot. I'll just say, John, what are you here for? How can I help you? And then as you talk to me, I see your body language, I see what's going on energetically, I hear your words, I know what's happening in the mind, I can see what exactly needs to happen. And sometimes if I don't know, I'll say, all right, get on the table, we're going to just go with this, and I'll just intuitively find out what you really need.
So you have more of a holistic approach to, it's not just
for sure. I have cancer patients. I have, there's a slew.
So what do you tell people that say, I can't wait a month?
That is becoming, that's why I'm getting staff.
Okay.
And so really what I'm looking for in my staff is somebody to be a clone of me. And Sarah says that's not
hard.
possible.
It's going to be tough.
And this is an important question as far as I'm concerned. So you're hiring staff. Having had my own business more than once, I understand what you're saying. I want clones of me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not out there. So you get as close as you can get. Don't get hung up on managing the business and lose what you've brought to the business.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean?
That's great advice.
It's because we do it. We have a tendency to do it. You own a bar.
Right.
So you got bartenders, you got waitresses or whatever, and you get so wrapped up in that part of it that you forget what you're there for. Don't let that happen.
Thank you, John. I will absolutely keep that.
Yeah, no, I know you will, or you wouldn't be doing it. So
I kind of
and I trust that you'll find the right person, the right people to do it too.
Yeah, I do trust that. And so all the interviews that I did, I'm just not finding that perfect person yet.
Right.
And so it's kind of like I just get to trust the universe is providing, and I'm putting those vibrations out. It will come to me. I just get to be patient.
Yes,
so that's
and
where
don't listen to anybody else's advice, but I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. Don't settle.
See, that's what I said.
I can't find the right
Ellen
person.
tells me this all the time.
Yeah, I can't find the right person, so I'll take this one.
Right.
Wait.
Thank
wait
you.
till you
I was
find
ready
that right
to do
person.
That, feeling desperate
wait
for a
till you
minute.
find that right person. You'll know. You'll know when this is the one. This is one of my team, my group, my whatever. You'll know it.
Do you know your question about what do you do when a person can't wait a month?
Right.
I don't really have any therapists that I feel comfortable referring them to yet.
Right.
So what I'll do is I will put them on a waiting list, and anytime I get movement in my schedule, I'll put them in.
Gotcha.
And really, honestly, I go back to my belief system that the universe provides, and it's all divine timing.
Yes.
So if they think they need it right now, and it's an emergency, well, in a month it's going to be even that way again.
Right. But
So.
The thing is that what you're doing is not an emergency. In other words, it's not like their arm's going to fall off or they're bleeding to death or something like that. So
I'll just recommend Epsom salt baths,
Right.
Different ointments,
Right.
and just different things that they can use for themselves, during that time.
And it's because I have people come in here to the studio all the time and they say, well, I want to do a show, but I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do that. And I just tell them, no. That's not why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where you can go if these are the things that you want and that's important to you. Because I don't provide those. I have a focus here, and that's what I want to. If I start expanding this focus, I'm going to lose what I started with. And that's what I don't want to do. I can get 2 cameras in here, 3 cameras in here, and do all this fancy stuff like they do on NBC or ABC or whatever. That's not why I'm here. I'm here so that people like you have a voice in the community and can get your message out, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So, and that's all the shows that we have here. We try to do. Yesterday we had the CEOs from Safe Nest and Shade Tree in here, and their message is extremely important, and that's why we're here. They go and they've been on the local TV stations and local news, and they get 3 minutes. hi, what's your name?
Yep.
Oh, you're with Safeness. Oh, what do you do? Oh, yeah, we help women. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. See you next week.
Right.
And that's not what I want to do. I want to, you see what we've done here. Yep. So anyway, enough bragging.
No, never.
And she's worth the wait. So
I've heard that. Yeah.
Worth the wait, for sure.
And like I said, I've been fortunate enough to see you meeting clients and saying goodbye to clients. I mean, when they're coming and going, and I always got the impression, both you and your husband, that the people that are here truly love you.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's what I call my babies.
Coming and going. It's not like thanks for the manicure. That was it. Cool.
Right.
They have developed a bond with you.
Do you know? I have to say, you were bragging. I get to brag now, right?
Okay.
I went to. This was a while ago. This was probably a year and a half ago, and Sarah had invited me. This was in the beginning of our relationship, and as a client and a friend, and she invited me to her house for a party, and there was 15 of my clients there.
Wow.
15. That's how many referrals in just that. And it all started from Tony from a Groupon.
Yeah, from a Groupon.
Wow.
It all started from Groupon.
It was really cool. I looked around. I was like, this is my home. Yeah. This is where all my babies are.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty beautiful.
Yeah. So it's nice that you can socialize with them too. And do they say, oh, yeah.
They try.
Yeah, I know.
They try their best.
So anything else that you'd like to cover before we wrap this up today?
I feel good.
And you're welcome back here anytime if you've got something you'd like to promote. I would like to talk to you and your husband about your bar and what's going on over there and what you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
At some point in time, so I'll give you one of my cards. And I'm not trying to sell you anything, as you can see, so I'll save that for later. But
no worries.
Free booze or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, that's all the time that we have today because we got other crap going on, you know that. But Lynette, again, thank you very much. I'm sorry that it took this long to get you on here. Actually, I did offer you and your husband months ago, and you were going somewhere and didn't get back. But when I saw the cannabis massage, that's why I hounded you and wanted to get you on here and talk about that. I think that's important that people are starting to realize that all the crap that we heard about cannabis over the years is bullshit. And it's just designed to, I don't know if it's designed, but anytime the pharmaceutical giants and the hospitals and the doctors are going to lose money, they're going to fight it. Anyway, that's enough. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
We could go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, don't get me started there. It's just because the whole medical field is not designed to make people well. It's designed to make people customers.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you for joining us, and come back anytime. You know how it works. Go to our website, go to YouTube, go to Roku or Amazon or any of the other crap that you can access us to. And really, seriously, guys, thanks for watching the station. Thanks for supporting us and all the shows that we have here. Because of your support and what you do, you watching and sharing and all of the shows, we're able to continue that. So remember what I always say. If you're going to do it with Stiles.